Hello everyone, this is StichRulez, and I wanted to showcase my deck list for the Goha Rush Festival that just ended. There's two main goals that I wanted to achieve just before I get to the deck list. One was reaching a new global rank, of surpassing my previous global rank. I reached around 247 last main big tournament regarding the Rush Duel format, and I wanted to reach a new global rank. So I was able to surpass that and also reach top 220, which I'm really happy about, and also secure the Goha Rush Festival Card Award for those who placed in top 1,000 or higher. So I was able to achieve uh, those two goals. And considering my schedule during the weekend, because it was my birthday and everything around this time frame, um, I was able to achieve that while managing all my time and things and events that I was doing or at the same time. So considering all that and the limited time that I had to participate in this event, I was able to achieve both of these goals, and I'm really happy about that, and also being able to do all the other things I wanted to do during the weekend. So it worked out all well overall with being able to all those things done, and also enjoy the weekend too. So with that being said, with that out of the way, I wanted to go to the deck list. I use Bubble Actress. This is a deck, as you guys know, that has been released from the new set just right before the Goha Rush Festival, and it looks pretty crazy. It's a 40 card deck, and it's supposed to be kind of crazy looking, but there's a reason behind the madness, so to speak. So I decided to use all the good level 8s at 3 copies, and with a 40 card deck, I believe that you can kind of get away with that. If you use a 30 card deck, I would not recommend utilizing all level 8s because you could brick pretty easily, considering the standard deck and also specified cards utilizing a standard 30 card Bubble Actress deck. So I use a 40 card deck, and there's two reasons why I utilize the 40 card deck. One, when you're going against a mirror, you'll have more grind game more often than not. And there will be a lot of mirror matches because Bubble Actress is a good deck first, and a lot of people understand how to play this deck to its full potential, and it's very powerful when you know how to know that. And another reason why I utilize the 40 card deck, this allows you to get into extra types of tech options. For instance, I utilize techs like Ghost Cycle, Pot of Greed, and Curse of the Rising Light. These cards are phenomenal because not only it helps you against a mirror, it also helps you against other meta decks like Joint Tech and Musical Princess. All these types of cards can be utilized in the mirror and also the other top tier decks, and all of them performed very, very well when I utilized them. And whether I was going first or second, they always came into play, and I felt that they were very, very good overall. I did some switching with card ratios here and there when I played my matches, but overall, this is kind of like the complete deck list I consistently use throughout the 3-day event. So I got the 3 copies of the level 8s for each level 8, and obviously we'll run the Abyss Soldier. It's an excellent card. The fact that it can return different cards, whether it's spell and trap or monsters from the field to back to the hand. It's very, very powerful just by discarding one aqua type monster from your hand to the graveyard. And it's extremely good card, and I believe pretty much 100% Bubble Actress decks will utilize this card in the future, unless something crazy comes out. But this card is already crazy, so to begin with. So, And another thing you might notice, I use Pot of Greed instead of Pot of Avarice. And I think because a 40 card deck, when you're utilizing a 40 card deck, you typically want more speed. Pot of Avarice is a little bit slow in a 40 card deck. Because if you're utilizing Pot of Avarice in a 40 card deck, you are a lot slower trying to get your type of strategy going, because Pot of Avarice needs 5 monsters into the graveyard, and also if you're going first in a 40 card deck with Pot of Avarice, you can easily brick. I believe you rather have Pot of Greed if you're utilizing a 40 card deck, because that'll allow you to unbrick if you have a brick hand much easier, or allow you to get to your tech cards faster. So I think the Pot of Greed aspect compared to Pot of Avarice, in some ways, especially in a 40 card deck, is a lot more reasonable, and it helps. And Pot of Greed, it's always good. There's no, it's just so good. It can be used first. It can be used second. It can be used in the mid game, the late game. It really doesn't matter. It's always good. There's no downside, and there's a reason why it's banned in the TCG and OCG, in those types of formats. It's just, there's no downside, and when you have cards that powerful with no downside and gives you card advantage, there's a reason why the card is banned in the TCG and OCG. If you guys play that type of formats too, you would know. Cards like Graceful Charity is another crazy card too. So for a 40 card deck, I use Pot of Greed, and then I use the three standard spell and trap card removals for the hydration to complement all the monsters that you're utilizing that are aqua. And this comes up a lot, especially when you have board presence. You want to have, and you're trying to push through to game and trying to kind of get into their back row and try to, make sure that when you're going for lethal, there's no disruption. Like cards like Negate Attack can kind of like shift the momentum completely. So when you're kind of like digging into your deck, when you're utilizing Ghost Cyclone to draw more cards, Curse of the Rising Light to draw more cards, Cornfield Charity to keep digging deeper and deeper into your deck, and Pot of Greed, you have so many draw mechanics that you're going to have board presence a lot of times. And Ghost Cyclone, I utilize the hydration to 3 copies to compare to Ghost Cyclone to 3 copies, is because there's more times that you're going to have a lot of bodies on the field, and Ghost Cyclone becomes irrelevant, especially after turn 1. So, not saying that it's always not active, but I've seen so many games where hydration is much more effective in the later stages of the game, especially turn 2 and onwards, compared to Ghost Cyclone. So that's why we run 3 copies of hydration. And then we have the 2 Ghost Cyclones. So if we do get it, it's not as bad, especially in the late game, because we only have 2 copies. So more than likely, we only use, when we're drawing, we might get one that's unusable, and then we can just pitch it off with the skill to send it to the graveyard if it's not relevant. So that's why I think the hydration at 3, Ghost Cyclone at 2 is a nice balance between without having to be too committed to the Ghost Cyclone. So that's what we did with this deck list. And yeah, so getting to the overall other cards. So we have hydration at 3, Ghost Cyclone at 2, Cornfield Charity 3. It's obvious. I mean, because this card's just ridiculous. I mean, it's so good. You dig into your deck. There's no reason why you should not run it at 3. It's just that good. It's another draw mechanic that with no downside typically, that allows you to get to your tech cards, gets to other types of key cards that you want to kind of establish on your first turn, or whether you're going first or second. Another thing, some builds run 2 Rain Populace, and other decks run 1 Rain Populace. I run 1. It's debatable of how you want to run 2 or 1. I see the reason why people would run 2, but there's reasons why I would run 1, because I don't need to typically want to rely on rain populace all the time to get to actually get going with certain things. So I felt that one, and it's because it's searchable with the skill, you can also revive it with your other's aqua monster when you have 3 monsters on the board. If it's in the graveyard, it's easily recyclable, and it's searchable from the skill. So it really, I never found too much trouble with having it 1 copy instead of having it 2 copies. I really never had any issues with that. So I ran it at 1. I did use 2 at one point, and I just felt that it just wasn't as impactful to run 2. So I felt that running 1 was fine, and 1 was, for me, was fine overall. So I didn't have any issues with that. So we run 2 Curse of the Rising Light. This allows us to beat set 3 and pass against like cards, meta cards like Joint Tag, Musical Princess, Demura. If you're going against Bubble Actress as well, and you're utilizing Bubble Actress, this card is phenomenal. It's also easily accessible now that the new box release has this card. So everyone should have a few copies of this at this point if you participate in the Rush Duel format. And Curse of the Rising Light, it's a phenomenal card, and it really helps Bubble Actress more particularly because besides of Abyss Soldier, one of the weak points of Bubble Actress is trying to kind of like get through the set 3 pass. So this allows you to kind of like help you get through that, and you don't have to worry about that aspect. So I think Curse of the Rising Light is a very, very good tech choice for this type of meta, and also for the Bubble Actress strategy as well. And then we run 2 Tasmac Seal Array. This helps kind of recycle your resources, helps you go push through high-level attack monsters, maximum monsters, high-level, high-attack Musical Princess monsters. It's always pretty good. You kind of don't want to see it in your first turn, obviously, because it's somewhat of a brick. But again, once you're running 40 cards, you don't really typically see it in your opening hand, and also you typically see it more later in the stages, which is actually more beneficial when you really want to see it later on in the game. So I run 2 Tasmac Seal Array, and let's see, let's go to the rest of the cards, and then we go to I use Widespread Ruin because it's the next best thing, because we can't use Negate Attack because we're using Pot of Greed. So since we can't use Negate Attack, we use Widespread Ruin, which is pretty much the next best thing compared to Negate Attack. Otherwise, I would use Negate Attack if that was allowed, because of the limit in Legend. Pot of Greed being limited 1 and Negate Attack being limited 1. So Widespread Ruin, very good card. Allows you to pretty much take down your opponent's most important monsters, and it's pretty impactful in this type of meta, and it's a solid choice considering if you're using Pot of Greed, you want to typically use this type of card or something else, like maybe Trap Hole. Trap Hole is another good one, but I think Widespread Ruin, especially with all these types of OTKs that can kind of like just, if you're not really prepared, you can kind of just take out your life points instantly. So it's a thing that you want to have a high ceiling, of course, and also try to take down, switch the momentum completely. So, and then I run 3 Shiny Shady. Shiny Shady is just outstanding. Everyone who is playing at the highest level understands this. 3 Shiny Shadies, it's just insane. I love this card. I will stress, I can't say it no more. It's always good. Typically, unless you're so far behind in a game where it typically doesn't, it's irrelevant, like no card can help you kind of thing. At this point, it's so good, and it can save you from so many types of games. And a 40 card deck, it's great because you can get away with running 3. Because again, once you start digging into your deck using Pot of Greed, if you're going first, you want to use Pot of Greed. Get to your tech cards as quickly as possible. Set at least 1 Shining Shady, which would be awesome, and then that's all you kind of need. 2 set cards on the field with your monsters and a Shining Shady on the face down. You're good. That allows you to kind of like at least survive the turn, so you can go into your second turn, regain your life points using the Bubble Actress's monster cards and its effects, and allow you to keep reestablish the board to set your board presence and your strategy, and to continuously push through to kind of win the game. And then the extra deck is pretty much anything you want, because Bubble Actress does not rely on extra deck, and they cannot use extra deck monsters, at least at this time of this recording. So you could just use whatever you want as kind of like a representation. So yeah. So like I said, the matches that I played against was mostly Bubble Actress, Joint Tech, and Musical Princess. We had a little bit of Seventh Road, but outside of that, those were the kind of like the 4 main matches. And then I think overall my hardest matchup was against Musical Princess, really. Joint Tech was not. Joint Tech is manageable. You just have to pay attention to basically the 1 monster card that they have that allows you to destroy your whole board, your monster board, and as long as you're paying attention to kind of like that card, you're okay. You can have a good win percentage against that. Musical Princess is a lot more difficult because they have both the fusions that can kind of like just come out of nowhere, but also they have a ridiculous spell card called it's a piercing spell card that can kind of just can cause pierce of upwards from 4,000 or 5,000 piercing damage, which it's crazy, really. So that Musical Princess was pretty much the toughest matchup, and I think that a lot of competitors can probably would say the same thing. Because they just have so many lines that they can kind of beat you at. But I mean, it still wasn't a terrible matchup. But if I were to choose, I'd rather go against Joint Tech, because Joint Tech it's a lot more linear. Their plays. It's just you know what's coming, and if you have the cards to beat them, you can beat them. And if you don't, you're probably not going to win. So you know what to kind of like. You can kind of predict and think about the next few moves ahead, as opposed to Musical Princess, because they just have so many navigational lines that they can go through with either using fusion to get to their fusion cards, or using other spell cards to get to their fusion cards, or they could just beat down you with their high-level monsters that they have in their main deck too. So there's just a lot of different things, and then they can run tech cards. They can pretty much do it all. So that would be my toughest matchup, I think, and a lot of people would probably agree with that. With the Bubble Actress and the Musical Princess, it's very difficult. But I didn't find that it was like too overwhelming. But I think that in the future, I think the Pierce spell card needs to be addressed to a certain degree, because it's ridiculously strong. I mean, like anyone that has played against that deck or utilizes that deck knows that Pierce spell card is on another level, and yeah, I think that it probably is going to get addressed in the next ban list, because it could just win you so many games. It's like almost like an instant win button game condition, and you can have some crazy amount of life points, and they can still. I mean, there was times where I had like over 10,000 life points because of my recovery life points I was getting from the Bubble Actress monster cards, but they still won. Like, that's just, come on now. That's just not fair in a way. But anyways, I think that card will be addressed at some point, or in a way where that card is affected in a way too. So So I don't want to make this video too long, but overall, I'm really glad about my performance in this the Rush Duel, the Goha Rush Festival, and I'm glad that I was able to achieve both my goals. And I hope this deck list and explanation in depth with all the cards that I've utilized with the 40 card Bubble Actors deck has helped you gain some more insight into making your deck and maybe utilizing different deck options for your deck. And I just want to appreciate each person viewing this, and also I want to just thank Tomato Sauce for his insight with the meta analysis that he always posts on a consistent basis, and giving me kind of like a different perspective to look at on considering what could be utilized to go against certain matchups. So thanks you guys for all your support. I appreciate it. I'm so glad I was able to achieve like the types of goals that I set for this weekend, and I want to thank each of you for your support. Thanks again, guys, and thanks for watching. Take care, and bye-bye.